Go. Yeah, where you go? Yeah, where you go? Hello. Hey VC, Mitch here, a guy in a hat who likes to talk about records and dogs. And today's video is a thread response to Mark Morris, who's celebrating his dog's Elsa's birthday. It's actually her 10th birthday, so it's a very special birthday. And he's doing a dog-themed thread, which I thought I've got to jump on that. My family's always had dogs, and as you know, Caramac is our family dog. And it was great watching Mark's video because you could just see how much joy Elsa brings to his life. His face lit up every time he mentioned her. And that's what dogs are all about. Dogs are great animals. They're just, unconditional love. They're always pleased to see you. They're great companions, and they're the perfect pets. But they're more than pets because obviously they become part of your family, and it's absolutely devastating when you lose them. But that's the downside of love, I guess. But dogs, absolutely love dogs. And Caramac, he's always in the background of my videos barking. I always like to think he's challenging what I say and saying, no, that album's rubbish, and yeah, I've heard that, it's terrible. And in fact, there's been a few moments where he's totally upended videos, so I'm going to show you a few of those now. So the next album is by the American singer-songwriter William Tyler, and it's called For the First Time Again. And Mac, this isn't working, is it? Yeah, get over there. What are you doing? What are you doing, you silly boy? So yeah, that's Caramac, bit of a character, likes a laugh. He does a mean Elvis impression, and he's always willing to give you a high five. He's a real character, love him to bits. But this isn't about Caramac, this is about Elsa. So happy 10th birthday, Elsa. I hope you have lots of treats on your birthday. And you're a lovely looking dog, and I can see how much joy you bring to Mark. So Mark asked us basically for this thread to show lots of, either album covers with dogs on them, or songs about dogs. So I've picked a few out and I'll go through them now. A mixture of songs and a mixture of covers. I must say I've tried not to watch any other videos on this at the moment because I just know that someone's going to have beaten me to it. So I didn't want to be put off showing stuff. But if I've already shown something that you've shown, then I apologize. But yeah, so let's get on with it. So the first one I picked out was a Paul McCartney album, Paul is Live. This was the album he brought out around about his Off the Ground album. So it's got the same touring musicians that played on that album. So you've got Hamish Stewart from the Average White Band, bizarrely enough. And you've got Linda, obviously, Wix Wickens on keyboards, Blair Cunningham on drums, and Robbie McIntosh. Was he in the Pretenders? I think so. So he had a pretty mean band at that time. And obviously this is the live album he produced at the time. It's quite notable because it has 2 songs on here that were composed at Soundcheck that I don't think you can get anywhere else. But it's a mixture of Beatles songs, obviously Wings covers, and the album he was promoting at the time, Off the Ground. But the cover has Paul reenacting the Abbey Road cover, and obviously it's a play on words because Abbey Road was, full of references to Paul actually being dead. So this is Paul is live, as in he's alive. And there's lots of things he's put on here, like messages from the original Abbey Road. I think this is one of the shots from the original Abbey Road cover, but obviously they just photoshopped Paul and his dog on it. So you've got things like the Volkswagen Beetle. It actually says 51 is, because that's the age Paul was at the time. He's wearing shoes on this cover. He's actually holding the leash in his left hand. A lot of people pointed out that on the Abbey Road cover, he was holding the cigarette in his right hand, so it couldn't be Paul. But yeah, someone's definitely probably already shown this, so I apologise. But obviously, Paul's had a lifelong love of sheepdogs, and this is Arrow, the sheepdog, who was a direct descendant, apparently, of Martha, who was Paul's sheepdog in the 60s, and obviously, famously, he wrote the song Martha My Dear about it, another song about a dog. Yeah, so that's Paul is Live, featuring the sheepdog Arrow. Oh, he's been pulled across the crossing rather unconvincingly there by a non-moving dog, but never mind. Next, we have a dog song, and this is from, bizarrely, Pink Floyd. It's not Dogs from the Animals album. I've gone for Seamus off Pink Floyd's 1971 Medal album. Absolutely stunning album, one of my favourites. And the song Seamus is a blues song, which is bizarre for Pink Floyd, and it's, I don't think they ever attempted a blues type song before or after. So basically, it's Dave Gilmour playing like a spoof on a traditional blues, and I think it was a bit of an in-joke at the time because the dog in question, Seamus, used to howl when they used to rehearse. And so they built that song around him. So it's a little bit of a joke song, which again is unusual for Pink Floyd. And the fact that I've always liked about that song is Seamus was actually Steve Marriott's dog. So yeah, I think they did a version for the Pompeii album as well, but it didn't have Steve Marriott's dog on it. It had a different dog. So yeah, a bit of a strange song for Pink Floyd, but yeah, a song that features a dog howling, and that's Seamus. Next up, another album featuring a dog on the cover. Well, actually, this is an EP. And the trouble with doing threads like this is I love doing them, but they also fill me with dread because, as you know, I don't keep my collection in any sort of order. So trying to find things at times is an impossible task. And I've spent an hour yesterday searching for a record that I couldn't find. I know I've got it, but I just can't find it. So I had to pick another one, fortunately by the same band. So this is Belle and Sebastian, I'm Waking Up to Us. You've got Sarah Martin's cheeky face there and a beagle. And on the back, you've got, I don't know what sort of dog that is actually, but yeah. So Belle and Sebastian, absolutely obsessed with this band at one point. During the time of Boy with the Arab Strap, I just absolutely loved them. I still like them now, but especially at the time I was a little bit obsessed with them. They had that sort of melancholia that really sort of attached itself to me at the time. And Belle and Sebastian made loads of EPs, and it's often where their best material is. So I was originally looking for the Dog on Wheels EP, but I just couldn't find it anywhere. So then I remembered I'm Waking Up to Us has dogs on it, and in fact 2 of the songs on the EP mention dogs, so fitted perfectly. So yeah, I'm Waking Up to Us, Belle and Sebastian. This is from 2001. It has 3 tracks. I'm Waking Up to Us, which is sort of like a really 60s orchestral pop inspired nugget. Then on the B side, you've got I Love My Car, which is like a bit of a light-hearted song. It's got a very sort of jazz band sort of influence to it, like a Dixieland jazz band arrangement to it. And it also talks about I Love My Dog on it as well. So it's not just the car he loves his dogs as well. And finishes with the beautifully melancholic Marks and Angels on it on the B side. Yeah, it's what Stuart Murdoch does best, just beautiful piano line on it and a really melancholic song. Stuart Murdoch is a really underrated songwriter in my opinion, but he loves dogs apparently. So yeah, you've got dogs there, and 2 of the songs mention dogs. So yeah, I'm Waking Up to Us, Belle and Sebastian. If you've not checked out their EPs, especially the early ones, 369 Seconds a Lie, Dog on Wheels, This Is Just a Modern Rock Song, please do. Honestly, amazing material. I think they were compiled at one point on an album called Push Barman to Open Old Wounds, so honestly check that out. The EPs they made were stunning, and this is another good one. So next, a song about a dog, and this song is by Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin, who is a great dog lover, and this is from Led Zeppelin 3, and of course it's Bron-Y-Aur Stomp, and it's a song about the joys of dog walking. And it's a great little song. The lyrics are really fun. It's a really cool acoustic sort of upbeat number. And lyrically in it, Robert Plant just goes on about the fact how he loves walking his dog, who was called Strider. So obviously, Robert Plant was a big Lord of the Rings fan. So yeah, it was a song about the joys of walking his dog down country lanes. And yeah, it's some great lines in that song. It's let me tell you what you're missing, messing around them brick walls. And there's no companion like a blue-eyed Merle. And also it references another old sort of country standard called Old Shep. And the song of Old Shep, if I remember rightly, was a song about a dog that actually saved its owner's life, but its eye started to dim, and then he just shot it. So yeah, one of those old country sort of tearjerker type songs. But funnily enough, Robert Plant references that, and he says, "When you're old and your eyes are dim, there ain't no old Shep gonna happen again. We'll still go walking down country lanes, and I'll sing the same old song. Hear me call your name." So yeah, it's a great song, really upbeat, really catchy. Jimmy Page guitar on it is superb, and it's all about the joys of having a dog and dog walking. So yeah, fully behind that. So yeah, that's Bron-Y-Aur Stomp on Led Zeppelin 3. Back to Dogs on album covers next, and this is another favourite band of mine. And yeah, totally bizarre band, total one-off. Bonzo Dog Band, obviously dogs in the title as well. So yeah, thought about this. You see, thought about this. This is their second album, and it's the donut in Granny's greenhouse, which is a not a euphemism, but a slang term for a toilet. And there's two great big dogs there. I don't know what they are, Irish wolfhounds or something like that. But yeah, scary dogs that size, aren't they? Almost halfway up Viv there. But yeah, absolutely love the Bonzo Dog Band, and this is their second album. Has loads of great songs on it. Can Blue Men Sing the Whites, or Are They Hypocrites? You've got We Are Normal and We Want Our Freedom. Apparently inspired by the saying on I can't remember what song it is on Love's Forever Changes. We are normal and we want our freedom, and they sort of juxtaposed it. And we are normal and we dig Burt Weedon, and Humanoid Boogie's on here. Trouser Press, My Pink Half of the Drain Pipe. Just a total one-off band, aren't they? Just an amazing band. Totally bonkers, totally bizarre, and absolutely love them. But yeah, two huge dogs on that cover. Next, back to a song, and this is a song about a dog, obviously, and this is a song about a dog called Fido, and it's off the Byrds album, Ballad of Easy Rider, and it's a great song. It's one of the best songs on the album. Funnily enough, it was composed by John York, who was the bassist at the time, but he didn't last very long. He only stayed for this album, then he disappeared again. But he contributed a song to this album called Fido, and it was inspired by a dog that he found, a stray dog he found while they were on tour. And apparently he came across it and he just followed him everywhere. And the lyrics of the songs are quite irreverent. It's not all about dogs, but it's got some great lines in it. And one of them is, dogs have got it made, laying there in the shade, never having to worry about getting anywhere on time. And that's true. It's one of the great features of being a dog. You've got no schedules, have you? You can just do what you like. And one of the things I love about dogs is dogs always look comfy. They always know how to relax. I mean, they just look so, when they sleep and stuff, they just look so comfy. But yeah, Fido from the Byrds, Ballad of Easy Rider, great song, one of the best songs on the album, I think. So it's a shame that John York never got to contribute anymore. But it's like quite a sort of light-hearted, quirky song about a dog he found on tour that followed him around. But yeah, that's Fido. One of the great things about doing threads like this is you end up pulling out records that you haven't listened to in ages, or in some cases that you've completely forgotten about. And there's two on this list, and this is the first one of them, and I've forgotten how good this is. And it's on it's a compilation on Fat City Recordings, and it's called Finders Keepers. And it's got a great dog cover, as you can see. You can almost smell the breath of that dog, can't you? Not saying you want to, but it's quite evocative, isn't it? But Fat City Recordings were a Manchester label, I think, and they put out a lot of sort of like beats type and down tempo type music in the 90s. I'm not sure what year this compilation's from, but it must have been in the 90s. And this is compiled by Andy Vattel, who went on to launch his own label called Finders Keepers, and he issued loads of sort of really obscure, really interesting European type music from soundtracks or just really quirky electronic stuff. And I think this is one of the first compilations he did. And more dogs on the back cover. And yeah, it's absolutely superb. It's sort of like a mixture of really obscure European psych and instrumental type funk, and just loads of like really sort of cool beatsy stuff. So from obscure albums like Us 69, Yesterday's Folks is a great tune. You've got Paul Parrish, English Sparrow. Check out all these tracks; they're really cool. A lot of them have like a psychedelic type bent to them. The Advancement, Fallout, absolutely, classic beatsy tune. You've got the Sounds of Joy, Crying Bag. You've got the Je t'aime like Rita, Love, which is just bizarre. And you've got the Vampires of Dartmoor, that's a cool instrumental as well. And the track Wool from the band Wool, whose debut, I think they only made one album, whose album I've been after for absolutely years and years, but you never ever see it. Their tracks Love, 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 and it's a really great sort of psychedelic freak out type track. But yeah, this is full of absolute gems. You've got a Dorothy Ashby track, Joyful Grass and Grape. You've got The Devil's Anvil with Caracadon. Oh, there's so many cool tunes on here. Absolutely superb. Great compilation, like I say, on Fat City. Inner Sleeve's got a bonus dog picture. And like I say, it's like a cool sort of like Polydor imitation label. But instead of James Brown, they used to put his face on his labels, didn't he? You've got the dog and sort of inverse Polydor type logo. And yeah, it's just a cool compilation. Strangely, when I was looking at it, one of the tracks has been lined out, and it's God Bless the Child by 50 Foot Hose and the Psychedelic Band. So whether or not they didn't get permission to include that and they left it off at the last minute when all the labels have been printed. But yeah, this is a superb compilation. I've forgotten how good it is. If you like psychedelia and you like obscure European instrumental music, this is well worth trying to find a copy of this. It's superb. So that's The Finders Keepers by Andy Vattel, who also produced Badly Drawn Boy, big friend of Badly Drawn Boy. So yeah, bit of a legendary record collector, Andy Vattel, and like I say, he went on to form his own label and put out all manner of weird and wonderful stuff. So yeah, that's Finders Keepers. Okay, next up another dog song, although this is a bit of a strange one, and it's a supernatural dog this time, and it's based on the legend of a huge black massive hound with glowing red eyes that apparently haunts the coastline alongside Suffolk and Essex and Norfolk. And if you see this dog on the moors, then you're not long for this world. And the legend is of the dog the Black Shuck, and it's the first song on the first album of The Darkness, Permission to Land. It's a great tune, kicks off the album fantastically, lots of heavy riffs, and the band talk about the legend of this mysterious supernatural dog, and it's got a great catchy chorus, and in typical Darkness style, the chorus goes, Black Shuck, that dog don't give a fuck. And he doesn't. There's sort of like a tales of him haunting reverends and tearing people to pieces, and yeah, it makes for a great heavy metal song. So yeah, great song from the Darkness, Black Shuck, a song about a supernatural dog. So this next album has not only got a dog on the cover, it's got the word dogs in the title, so it's a bit of a double whammy. And this is one of those albums where when I was looking through my collection for albums to pull out for this video, I came across this one and I'd forgotten all about it and I haven't listened to it for years, and I've spun it a few times since, and I've really enjoyed it, so that's been a good thing about this video. The band is The Aliens, and this is their 2007 album Astronomy for Dogs, so it's nearly 20 years old now. As you can see, all dogs are keen astronomers. And this is a band that was formed out of the ashes of the Beta Band. So basically, when they split up, two of the members, Robin Jones and John McLean, formed with Gordon Anderson, who sometimes sort of recorded songs under the title Lone Pigeon. And Gordon Anderson was an original member of the Beta Band, but he's had a lot of health issues, so he didn't actually join the band when they took off. So this is a bit of a reunion album in a way, and it's just as quirky and bizarre as the Beta Band, but it's more song based. It doesn't meander as much, and it's got like a sort of like a psychedelic 60s vibe to the songs as well. It's more guitar orientated and more song orientated, but it's still quirky, and there's some great songs. All the songs are written by Gordon Anderson. But the arrangements are just as imaginative as they were with the Beta Band. And like I said, there's a lot of like 60s psychedelic influences on this, and they even stretch out on the last song, Caravan, which goes on for about, I think it's about a 16-minute song where they really sort of flesh out. But it's basically the Beta Band minus Steve Mason and Gordon Hanson included. So yeah, I think they only made 2 albums. I'm not sure the second came out on vinyl, but yeah, I've forgotten all about this album. And then when I was playing it, when I was getting ready to make this video, I absolutely loved it. Forgotten how good it was. So yeah, whether or not it'll be reissued next year for its 20th anniversary or whatever, but yeah, it's a great album, great 60s influence, lots of guitar, lots of catchy songs. Yeah, really underrated album, and I'm really pleased to rediscover it again. So yeah, Astronomy for Dogs. So next up, another dog song, and originally I was going to go for the Beatles' Martha My Dear, which obviously Paul wrote about his sheepdog Martha, and then I remembered there was another Beatles song about dogs that's never been released, and I can't understand why. It was recorded during the Let It Be sessions, the 4 Let It Be sessions, where the Beatles basically tried to bring all the scraps and whatever they were working on at the time to try and form a cohesive album. And during the sessions, as you've seen on the Peter Jackson documentary, loads of rock and roll covers, loads of snippets of basically trying to find things in the catalogue to flesh out into songs. And one of them has never been released officially, as far as I know. It would be perfect for the anthology, but I don't know why they've always skipped over it. And it's a song called There You Go, Eddie. And it's a McCartney song, and it's got such an absolutely beautiful melody. And it's the gift of McCartney. He's sort of like, you can hear him ad-libbing it as he's performing it, but it's got such a beautiful melody to it. And it's such a nice little throwaway song, but to have that sort of in your cupboard and not do anything with it. But it's never turned up on the anthologies or anything. It's bizarre. It's such a nice tune. And also it has the added bonus of it. You can hear that he's sat performing it with the other Beatles, and they all sort of like interject as he goes along, especially John. And it's a really nice recording, so I don't know why they've not made more of it. It's probably on some sort of bootleg somewhere, but I've never owned an official copy of it or an unofficial copy of it. So basically the song's called There You Go, Eddie, and it's McCartney doing a little song about his other dog, his Yorkshire Terrier dog at the time, Eddie. And it's sort of like a beautiful little line, and he's talking about the dog. And then John there's lots of studio chatter in the background, and all of a sudden John picks up on what he's doing, and he sort of encourages Paul to keep going. So as the song progresses, Paul throws in the names of the other Beatles pets. So he talks about Ringo's dog, I think it was called Tiger, and John's cat was named after his Aunt Mimi, and there was another. John had another dog, I think it was Bernard actually, I think it was. So Paul starts ad-libbing the title track of the song, but with the Beatles dogs, like There You Go, Tiger, There You Go, Bernard, There You Go, I think it was Nigel, something like a dog called Nigel that John Lennon must have written about in some of his poetry works. And obviously John's loving this and lapping it up and encouraging him to go on. But it's a small song, but it's absolutely beautiful. And it's great to hear, Lennon joining in and, the bit of banter between the Beatles and stuff. I think, if I'm right, you can still hear it on YouTube. So if you search for the Beatles, There You Go, Eddie, you'll hear it's a lovely little tune. I don't know why they've not put it on an anthology or something like that, but yeah, check that out. I was going to show you, but it's not on here. It's Let It Be sessions it was recorded in, so check that out. It's the Beatles and There You Go, Eddie. So lastly, I couldn't let this video slide without showing this cover from one of the most bizarre, messed up, psychedelic, strange, obscene, bizarre albums ever made. And it's the Butthole Surfers and its Locust Abortion Technician with the circus dog on the cover. Again, perfect cover describing what's in it. It's odd, it's a bit disturbing. But yeah, there's a cute dog on it nevertheless. But what an album. They don't make them like that anymore, though I don't think they ever did make them like this, unfortunately. But what an album. And yeah, I think the baby's face on the back says it all. I mean, that's the sort of expression most people have when they hear this album. But yeah, dogs. Dogs are amazing. Love dogs. And happy birthday again to Elsa T Dog. And thanks to Mark for doing this thread. Like I say, check out his channel. He's a great bloke, and he's got a great dog as well. So yeah, love doing this thread, Mark. Hope you enjoy it. Again, happy birthday to Elsa. Enjoy your 10th birthday. I hope Mark spoils you rotten. And all the best to Mark. Thanks for doing this thread. I've really enjoyed it. And yeah, cheers.